What the peripheral and maritime regions of Europe fear most is that they could lose out on subsidies, which might be diverted to other sectors of the new EU countries after 2006, as well as to the economic programmes of regions which want to diversify their activities. For a long time, the European Centre for Research into Seaweed has received large subsidies. The research includes a variety of uses for seaweed, from lemonade to the soles of shoes. Even fashion designer Ted Lapidus is considering the use of seaweed in the manufacturing of clothing. Other research includes the study of the antioxidant qualities of seaweed in the prevention of diseases, as well as its use in making plastics biodegradable. The research centre was originally set up to help solve the problem of too much seaweed in the Breton Seas, but that's one thing it hasn't managed to do. Tristan Le Goff is one of the research technicians. We tried quite a few different things: composting, producing methane gases, things that work fairly well, also animal feed, but all that had to be worthwhile financially. And that is the greatest problem at the moment. Also food for human consumption. It does sell, but demand is not large enough to justify and make good use of what we find on our beaches. Seaweed is already no stranger to the cosmetics industry, but the European institutions have yet to be convinced of the value of seaweed as a food. Christine Le Teunier is a firm believer, though, and has thrown herself full pelt into her own small business 10 years ago, transforming seaweed into salad, caviar, or making seaweed pâté and herbal flavouring. She exports 35% of her production to Europe, the rest to North America, Dubai, and even New Caledonia in the South Pacific. Brittany has the largest seaweed field in the world, so when we started to import seaweed from Asia in the 70s, the Bretons said, why not us? In Asia, 95% of the seaweed has been specially cultivated for food. In Europe and in Brittany, barely 5% of harvested seaweed is used for human consumption. That just shows how much work still needs to be done. The problem which we find in Brittany is that we have wild seaweed, which is not the same quality as cultivated seaweed, which is found in Asia, especially in Korea and Japan. And I think that regarding the market for edible seaweed, it's in our interest to develop cultivated seaweed so that we can produce a quality which will be more and more in demand as a new ingredient in the whole food industry. A gamble whose future, like other developments along the coastal regions of Europe, is dependent on regional EU subsidies. The prospect of enlargement is certainly urging a rethink for the coastal industries of Europe, especially the fishing industry.